back into our menu and we'll go to Grid Setup. Under Grid Setup, for most US setups, we are going to select Split Phase. This is standard 240 volts with 120 volts on L1 and 180 degree phase to 120 volts on L2. This is the most common US setup. This will give you 240 volts across both phases. If you select single phase, the inverter will output 230 to 240 volts AC on both L1 and L2. Any 120 volt load would be damaged if you connected them to the inverter in this mode. This mode is useful for powering 240 volt loads like a well pump or a water heater. You also can use 208 volts, which is three-phase, when working in parallel mode to create three-phase power. You can use the 208 volt setting when working in parallel to create three-phase power. You want to just accept the defaults, save. We have grid protect parameters. In some jurisdictions, if you are using this with a grid tied or grid feed application, you may have to make some additional changes to the settings here. Next we have our grid standard. We have the United States selected because that is where we are, but you can use other standards if you like. There are some special unique use cases where you may use a different grid standard and selecting a different region. American Standard Classification, we're going to use UL 1741. You may again have different rules for the grid standard where you are. This allows you to make additional settings. Reactive Power, we have Reactive Power parameter. This depends on the country where you are and which country is selected if required by their grid. You want to just keep it on power factor if you're in the United States and accept the default. Grid function, accept the defaults unless there's a specific use case and you've been told to change it. You do want anti-islanding, you want to detect leaking current, and you want insulation detection.